Hi team, my name is Mr. Powell. Welcome to the first installment of our Introduction to European History, Anchor Fact series of printables and mini lessons. At Knowable World, we teach history as the revelation and explanation of the world we live in. In this series, we are going to learn about the history of Europe. You can watch these videos one at a time as they are released on YouTube. But you can also go to the Knowable World website for the full printables package and complete video series, including the timeline and activity pack for the entire series available on demand. It's all there at knowableworld.com. We're going to begin in the present. That's because at Knowable World, we always connect history to the world we live in. What is Europe like today? The answer is, it's all about the European Union. The European Union is a collection of 27 countries that are trying to find a way to live in peace together instead of being separate countries at war. What is it like to live in this new kind of Europe? Well, here's a great example. What you're looking at is the border between France and Germany. Allemagne, which you see here, is the French name for Germany. The photographer, therefore, is standing in France, and the road leads to Germany. What's missing? A border, which normally looks like this, with armed guards and big fences or walls, with policemen asking for your passport and wanting to know your business. That's gone. Going from France to Germany in Europe is like going from Texas to Louisiana in America. There's just a sign. No border guards with guns and no walls. The idea here is that Europeans want to create a United States of Europe. Just like the stars represent the states on the American flag, the stars on the flag of the European Union represent the countries as if they are states. How else are they trying to work together as one country? Well, normally when you travel from one country to another, you have to use a different kind of money. If you go to Mexico, you have to use the Mexican peso. If you go to Canada, you have to use the Canadian dollar. It used to be that way in Europe. To go to France, you had to use the franc. In Germany, you had to use the mark. But not anymore. Now almost all the countries in Europe use the same money. It's called the euro. So when you go from France to Germany, you can use the same money that you use at home. In fact, that's the point. You are supposed to feel at home. You are supposed to think of yourself as European, not French or German or Italian. The European Union has been in existence since 1993, and since it was formed, it has been quite successful. It has expanded multiple times and now includes most of the countries in Europe. So far, so good. But wait a minute, not everyone is happy. In fact, throughout the European Union, there are people that are upset about losing their national cultures. In fact, one country even left the Union. The United Kingdom of Great Britain left in what was called Brexit. And other countries are talking about doing the same. France, Germany, and just about every other country has Euro-centric political parties that insist that trying to combine the nations of Europe into one country does not make sense. Two other important problems for the European Union are its relationship to the United States and its relationship to Russia. The European Union could not form until Russia let go of East Germany, which it held on to after World War II. Since that time, the United States has been expanding its military alliance called NATO to include countries in Eastern Europe, in the same way as the EU has been expanding eastward. This means that Europe continues to depend on the United States to protect it from Russia. This has only gotten worse in recent years, because when the United States decided to expand NATO to include Ukraine, Russia started a war against Ukraine. Both America and Europe have supported Ukraine in this war, but they disagree on what to do. And now Russia seems more threatening than ever. This means Europe will continue to depend on America. That's not what the European Union is about. It's about not depending on anyone, especially the United States. It's about making Europe peaceful and strong on its own. To understand why Europe formed this union and why so many are unhappy with it, and why it does not seem to be succeeding anymore, we must study European history. Surprise, surprise! History, when studied properly, is the revelation and explanation of the world we live in. In this series, we'll learn why Europe is the way it is and what its chances are of staying together. See you in the next lesson.